Hello and welcome to 11th Moon Weekly and our continuing coverage of Halloween.
This is Halloween, this is Halloween, this is Halloween, this is Halloween, this is Halloween.
Never in my life have I been more afraid to watch a movie. I started watching this one a long time ago and I had to turn it off. I've never finished this movie until this week for you guys. So this week we're taking on the scariest granddaddy of them all, Stephen King's It. The movie starts off simple enough with terrible CGI lightning and a little girl racing to get home to beat the storm. Her mother carelessly leaves her outside just in time for us to get a quick glimpse at this movie's monster. A killer clown. That's right, this movie's killer is a killer clown. I'm done. Stephen King, you've already won. I throw my hands in the air, throw in the towel, you're done, you win. This is the scariest movie ever. I want to make this 100% clear, world. Clowns are not funny. They're not cute, they're not silly, they're not whimsical, they're not entertaining in any way, shape, or form. Their only purpose in life is to scare people, especially children. So when you put a clown in a movie like this, you are just picking the right kind of monster to haunt people's dreams. The movie follows 7 protagonists as they reunite in their hometown of Derry, Maine. Now they're all coming back together because as kids, they all saw the scary monster of It, and they had banded together to defeat it with a slingshot and some silver ammo. Now, It has returned, so they're going back to fight it one last time. On the plus side, the scary scenes in this movie are done very, very well. Except for the ending, but I'll get to that a little bit later on. The monster is great because it plays on both the pop-out scary factor and it plays on the psyche of the protagonist. And speaking of, the actors do a top-notch job, all the way across the board, including the children actors. Matter of fact, the child actors might be my favorite because this is the first time I've actually seen Seth Green as the tallest person on set. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, too kind. Thank you. Now on to the bad stuff. This movie is not half as bad as I remember and not nearly as bad as people make it out to be. Yes, the suspense is there, and yes, they do a good job of introducing a memorable monster. But the execution is done so poorly. The movie is 3 hours long. It was a mini-series, but still, for the movie itself, they should have shortened it down. You could have got it down to an hour and a half and made a much, much better movie. There's scenes that go nowhere and pointless montages. Here, let me show you. Look at this scene. This is the actual video and audio from the movie. Does this seem like a monster movie to you? No. That's because this is another perfect example of an unneeded scene. Let's try another one. This is a scene where 2 of the main characters ride a bike to music. Did they just forget, or did someone forget to tell them that there's a killer clown who can shapeshift and alter reality after you? What are you doing? Stop showing off on your 6-speed and get out there and hunt a monster! It's that kind of stuff I cannot stand. If you're going to progress the plot, fine. But if it's filler for the sake of filler, take it out. You have a 3-hour-long movie, you have something to cut. The final thing I wanted to talk about before going on to the ending is the bully. Now the bully is perfect in this movie at the beginning. When he's a kid, this bully is just your quintessential bully. He wears the leather jackets, has a gang, hair slicked up, knife, the whole 9 yards. He's great, and he's just that overplayed bully, which is fine. My issue comes in later on in the movie when they introduce him as the adult version. He's been in an insane asylum and he's recruited by It to go hunt down the protagonists to kill them because they're no longer afraid of It and thus It cannot hurt them. So he goes off to try to kill the protagonist. This is the problem. It breaks him out of the insane asylum and then he disappears for about a half an hour in movie time, only to show up later to stab one of the heroes and then fall onto his own knife. He dies and the hero lives. What was the point in building this guy up as a killer and having him break out of an insane asylum if he's just going to get stabbed with his own knife and die while the person he was trying to kill lives? You just took me down an entirely separate road, building up this other bad guy, this secondary villain, just to have him die the second he tries to do anything in the movie. This is what I was talking about, pointless scenes. You shouldn't be building up characters you're not going to use. If you're going to kill him off, you should have killed him back when he was a kid and saved us a lot of this trouble. The kicker is they just leave his body up in the room that they were staying in and then just walk out of the hotel. So no one's going to check the ledger or check the credit card statement to saying who was in the room when the guy was murdered. There's no police follow-up, there's no repercussions at all. Well, I guess that's that. If you want to murder someone, just leave the body in the room, because apparently nobody cares there in Derry.
Appreciate it if you just put that on my card, send me a receipt.
Oh, certainly, Mr. Hanson. Me too, thank you.
Ditto, thanks.
Time, loads of fun, gotta go, bye.
Now I'm going to talk about the ending. Now if you care about spoilers from a 1990 miniseries, then you should probably skip ahead to Craig's review now. Here's what happens at the very end of this movie, and this is why I have to bring it up to you guys. The end of the movie culminates with them going down into the sewers to do the final battle against it. Now there's a very, very funny scene here right before they enter its lair where the asthma kid just admits that he's a virgin. Now, it's not funny that he's a virgin, it's just so out of context. Here we are outside the lair of a terrifying creature. We don't even know what it really looks like. And then he just blurts this out. Watch how unprovoked the scene is.
B5-4-thumb.
You think we're strong enough?
We have to be.
I have to tell you guys something before we go in there.
Eddie?
I've been lying.
About what?
When I said that I was seeing someone, well, I'm not. In fact, I haven't ever... I've never even been with any...
Eddie, what are you saying? You're a virgin?
Yeah.
Well, I can't help you with that, pal, but thanks for sharing.
So they slowly open the door to finally reveal its final form. And it is... a giant spider? That's kind of anticlimactic. I mean, the entire time you're dealing with a scary clown, and then you go to giant puppet spider. That is such a letdown. I mean, I hate it when movies do that. It's like in Boogeyman. If anybody saw the movie Boogeyman, it was scary up until the very final minutes where they showed the Boogeyman. Once you see the monster behind it, it's no longer scary anymore. It's just how good did they do rendering and how good is the puppeteering. I was very disappointed. What was really disappointing though was the fact that they killed this thing. Now, they didn't just kill it as in maybe they shot it or they hit it with another slingshot. No. They chased it in and they killed it like you would a cow. They tipped it over. Literally, they tipped it over and then they punched and kicked it. You punched and kicked it? You could do that the entire time? Oh no, my only weakness, coming at me from my side and then punching me? That's so stupid! It's a giant spider! Where is my... just anything would have been better than that. They push it over, they punch it, they kick it, and they eventually somehow rip its heart out. And that's the end of the movie. That's really... then there's a kind of an over wrap up of the whole thing, but that's it. They punched and kicked it. So unbelievably disappointing for such a movie that was just... the whole time. It was scary, it was clever, it was pretty decent. And then you'd end on that note. It's so disappointing. Overall, the movie's not too bad. The dialogue is kind of lacking and the twist at the end is pretty lame. But the scary scenes with the clown make it totally worth it. And the actors do a fantastic job. Especially John Ritter and Martha Kent. I recommend this movie to anybody who's a fan of Stephen King and looking for a decent scare. I give it 2.5 brains out of 5.
I went online and I looked up the scariest possible game I could get for the Xbox 360. Through numerous lists, there was one game that seemed to be on top of all of them: Condemned Criminal Origins. Now I want to give a little bit of background about the game from me. I saw my buddy Colonel Burke play the first level of this, so it's something akin to what Brian did. I only got to see a little bit of it, and then I never got to finish it. So I wanted to go back through and finish this game. To preface everything real quick before I get into this review, we pride ourselves on being completely honest with our reviews. So this review is going to be the complete, honest truth from my perspective. Now, Condemned Criminal Origins is a psychological horror game developed by Monolith Productions and published by Sega. The game is told through the first-person perspective and involves mainly melee combat and puzzle solving. You can pull out your forensic stuff and check out fluids on the ground, which is gross, and then take photographs of different things, and that's pretty much the puzzle solving. The look of the game is good, I guess. The game was released in 2005 for the Xbox 360, so you can tell it's somewhat dated, but for me, I still consider it pretty good. You can see what the Xbox engine is capable of now, but for then, it looked really good. I remember when I was watching Bert play and I was just going over. It just looked great. It was one of my first experiences with the Xbox 360. Textures, lights, the ambiance, the visuals, everything had a really great touch to make this a really scary game. The music of this game gave a nice feel to the ambiance of the game. Everything was scary and creepy, and when you'd go into your little episodes where you'd see things, everything fit very well, and I very much enjoyed that. But now to the truth part. It starts with the controls. The controls were very sluggish, in my opinion. I was still playing on my gaming TV. Everything seemed very sluggish. No matter what you did, everything seemed about a half second behind. And that really hurt. Because the melee combat in this game utterly broke the game. Now, when I did the Doctor Who review, the AI and the glitches really hurt the game. There's so many technical difficulties with that. You really couldn't play it without just getting extremely angry. But for some reason, to me, it's completely different when a component of the game that's supposed to work and is your main component of the game and it doesn't work. Those are two different things. This game is more broken, in my opinion, than the Doctor Who game. It was extremely frustrating. No matter what I did, I couldn't win a melee fight, and I don't even know what difficulty I was on. I was on whatever standard difficulty there was. Here's how the fights would go. They would come at me, and you can hit L to block. Now what you'd want to do is normally hit L to block, because one or two hits and you're pretty much down. So you'd block them, and that would stagger them back, and then you could hit them with your own weapon, whatever melee weapon you would have. But it didn't happen that way. You'd hit L to block right when the guy was coming up, you'd go, whoomp, and you'd hold up your pipe or whatever you had, and the guy would go, no, not it. Oh, no, not it. Oh. Every time you'd hit L and bring it up, he'd fake, and you're like, well, fine, this guy's just gonna keep doing that. You're like, all right, well, I'll swing now. You swing through, and as soon as you swing through, he's like, Superman speed, and hits you. And you're down for the count again. And then, of course, it gives you that "you are dead" screen. It's not even like it shows you. It's like as soon as the pipe hits your skull, it goes and pauses and goes, "You are dead." It was frustrating. It was extremely frustrating playing this game. Extremely frustrating. And I sat there and tried different combinations like L, 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 trying to just block him at first so I could get a good strike in. And every once in a while, it would work. 90% of the time, though. 90% of the time was they would just sit there and fake their hits. Like they would just go. It was like their animation got cut off. And I couldn't kill him. Couldn't kill him. It was bloody impossible. Could not do it. It was extremely frustrating. And I'm being completely honest with you guys. I didn't really encounter any glitches or AI things besides that, if you want to consider that one of those. I didn't encounter really anything else because I played this game for about 4 hours and only got about a level and a half in because I couldn't kill anybody because no matter what, they would come up to me in L, or whenever I would try and block them, they would almost hit me, and they would fake, and then they would hit me as soon as I started swinging through. I couldn't finish this game. I'm sorry. This is the first game I just couldn't finish because I was too frustrated and I could not get through this. I can go through technical difficulties of glitches and things like that because eventually it's going to work. Now, if something's completely broken through, glitch like a platform won't raise or something, yeah, you can't finish that. But this is constant. You're always getting attacked by these drug addicts that are coming through random warehouses. You're always getting attacked by these guys. You're always getting attacked by these guys. That's like going to the same glitch platform and you have to use it every 5 minutes throughout a game. You can't do it. I just couldn't finish this. I could not do it. Couldn't do it. I'm sorry, this is the first review that I'm not going to be able to finish for you guys and thoroughly give it, but I guess I am finishing the review. I'm saying don't ever play this game. I have no idea how the second one is, but this ruined it for me. I'm not going to play the second one. There's no way I'm playing the second one. You want to know why? Because the first one was so terrible. I can't do it. Just cannot do it. I give this absolutely 0 out of 5. Thank you for watching this week's 11th Moon Weekly and our continuation of Halloween. Now, last week we asked what you guys were scared of, what would scare you. And I've got the list right up here. And now a couple people said that it's the dark. Just the dark in general kind of would be what their scariness would be. I know Sight said there really wasn't too much, but as a kid it was the dark. There was the fear of the unknown. And I think that was also with Master, because he was saying lights everywhere. He didn't like the boogeyman and the whole lore of it, and so he didn't like turning on the lights in the bathroom because he always suspected that there would be a murderer, like in the movies. So mysterious dark figures, not a big thing. So the dark, it seems to be like a pretty big thing for a lot of people. Chalon Films said that playing Slender in the dark alone with headphones on, the whole just completely immersing yourself, that was another one. Just being in the dark, doing that by yourself was a big one. So, and I think that was pretty much it for what people responded with. And now I know I didn't say anything last week. As some of you may have known, I was in Nashville for about 10 days. So we kind of had split filming for 2 episodes. I kind of got to help out here and there, but we did some some fun stuff for being 500 miles apart and trying to get everything back together. My big thing is, and I don't know how many people are going to laugh at this, is like the whole demon thing freaks the crap out of me. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh, you're dumb. But like, I actually believe in demon possession and all this other stuff, so it really freaks me out. The paranormal activity movies are, dear God, insane scary for me. I don't, it's not all that fun for me. I'll go there and I'm scared for about a week afterwards, just frightened to the point of not getting sleep, because I really do believe in demon possession and whatnot. So it scares the hell out of me to watch those things and that kind of stuff. So like, I don't know why I torture myself watching Supernatural and all this other stuff. It just adds to all of it. But I want to pose another question for you guys this week. This one's going to be a little bit lighter. We got into the scary, we got into the really scary, and now since next week is Halloween, what are you going to dress up as? And if you don't dress up, do you even go out? Do you do anything? Do you go to parties? Do you hang out with friends? Do you dress up just for the fun of it? What do you do? And if you don't dress up, what would you like to dress up as? Give me your best case scenario, what you would like to do for Halloween, even if it's just to get together with friends and everybody have a theme, or anything along those lines. What are you going to do? What do you wish you could do? Or if you just don't do anything and you think it's not all that fun, state that as well. It's all up to you guys. We expect some good comments on this one. I think this one could be fun because you guys really can expound on this one, and it's really much more of an opinion than some of the other ones. The other ones are kind of factual. This is, what do you like to dress up as? What's fun to you? So, again, thank you very much for watching this week's 11th Moon Weekly. Please hit the subscribe button right up here, like us here, and on Facebook. Make sure to leave that comment down below with also questions for our next podcast that we're planning. Ask us anything, put them down below, tweet us, put it on our Facebook, anything. And also make sure to follow us on Twitter. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Watching this week's 11th. Come here. No. Come here. You're staying in shot. You're gonna be a good dog actor, okay? You're gonna come up here. You're gonna sit down, and you're gonna stay in shot, okay? All right, boy. See, there's the camera. You see it? Okay.